What's up, guys? So today we're going to talk about domesticated birds, and admittedly I'm not an expert on that. But I do have a pretty good friend that has quite a few birds, and she's here to help us kind of get an understanding of domesticated birds and do's and don'ts and just some facts. So without further ado, this is Ginger.
Hello. She's getting antsy, so I'm gonna have to let her go here in a minute, but just want to introduce Echo. This is our orange wing Amazon. She's nervous about being on camera apparently, so I'm gonna put her back over here. And there she goes.
She says, hell no.
She said, not happening today. Amazons are known to be a little scaredy cats, so she lives up to that very well.
Okay, well, how many different birds do you have in total?
I have 9 total. We have Echo, our Amazon. We have 7 cockatiels and 1 parakeet.
Okay. How did you really get into raising birds? Like, was that a thing you grew up with, or was it?
I did. I had one growing up. I had a cockatiel growing up, and I just loved her to death. And I didn't have any for a long time, and I don't know, we just decided one year didn't have any pets and we were debating on what to get, and we thought, you know, why don't we go for, he had birds, my husband had birds growing up as well, and thought it'd be a nice start.
Huh.
And then we got addicted.
So you started with a cockatiel then?
I did, yeah.
That's actually what I started with as well. Now, is there a specific species of bird that you would recommend more towards a beginner that's never had a pet bird before, or?
I would definitely suggest, you know, going with a smaller parakeet or cockatiel. They're going to be your better ones. I mean, a lot of people do look at them as beginner birds. Mm-hmm. I think they're great regardless. I don't think they're necessarily just for beginners, but you know, they have so much personality, and
yeah.
they're sweet birds, so they're great.
Okay. Well, maybe for a beginner bird keeper, what are some things that you would want to let them know to avoid, or things that to for sure do, like do's and don'ts and that sort of thing?
Well, I think the biggest thing, when I got back into birds after years and years of not having them, I was surprised at some of the things that have changed. We've learned more over the years. The biggest thing, I think, was the seed and the grit for feeding them. You don't want them to be on an all-seed diet. That's actually not good for them. I mean, seeds do have some nutrients in that they need, so you want them to have some. Mm-hmm. But the best diet is a pellet diet.
Pellets, okay.
You definitely do not want to add grit into their food. That used to be a thing.
Right, yeah, because I mean, I understand. When I was growing up, we had parakeets and cockatiels, and we gave them grit and didn't know any better. And
yeah. Your smaller birds, now I don't have any, but I do believe like finches and the little ones like that need to have it still. But with the parrots, the cockatiels, mm-hmm. they do not need it. It'll actually impact their crop.
Okay.
And can do a lot of damage. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's not good.
No, it definitely is not. So I was quite surprised to find that truth out. So.
Now, I'm more familiar with reptiles, and some species of reptile, the males are better to have in terms of like being able to handle them, being able to raise them. Is there a gender preference with birds? Are they all kind of universal? Like you work with them, they're good, or?
Yeah, it depends on the individual bird. I've not found boys or girls to be better. I have had some amazingly sweet girls who sadly have lost. I have one now, my Cosmo. He's such a sweetheart. So I think it just depends.
It's more the bird's personality rather than than a set kind of gender guideline.
Now I will say that the males, at least with the cockatiels anyway, are much more vocal.
Okay.
They love to sing and just make noise and just be loud in general. The girls not typically so much. Now I have had girls that were a little more vocal, but in general the girls are quieter. You've got plenty of birds and they're all beautiful. Thank you.
And they seem, very, very healthy. So I've got to ask, what are some common mistakes that people make in raising birds that can, attribute to having an unhealthy pet bird?
Well, there's lots of, things that you can do that you may not even realize are bad. Just for foot health, for example, you want to, a lot of people will just buy like dowel rod perches and just have those and they're all the same size. What happens with that is that the birds, their foot is always in the same position, so they can get arthritis and things like that and just have problems with their feet. So you want to make sure that you have different diameters of perches, so they're different sizes. You also want to have, I'll show you a few different types of perches I have here that are good. I have concrete perch. These are great for helping to keep their nails trimmed down, so you don't have to do that as often because they tend to not like that very much. So these are good. They come in all different shapes and sizes and colors and whatever. It's literally just concrete. Then we have natural wood perches. These are great. Again, all different sizes, shapes, colors. You can buy them at any pet store, online, you can get them anywhere, so they're great to have. And then, now this one's kind of old, so it's looking kind of funky here, but rope perches. These are great. They're really soft on their feet, and my birds love them, but you can bend them and twist them in any direction, any shape you want it to be to fit in your cage. And I like to change my cage around a lot, which there's a reason for that one. We'll come back to that. But yeah, these are great. Sandpaper on perches. Some people like to do that when it comes to keeping their, helping keep their nails trimmed back. Not good though, because they actually will wear down on the skin on their feet.
So not just the nails, it'll wear their foot down too.
Yes, it's just imagine walking on sandpaper all the time, how it would hurt your feet. Well, it does the same to them. They can get sores, and sandpaper is a big no-no, so don't do that.
Okay. So what was the reason that you rearranged their cage so much?
The reason for that, now my birds, I don't want to breed them.
Okay.
I have no desire to do that. I'm a big believer in rescue. All my babies are rescues. No breeding is going to happen. So in order to do that, in order to prevent having so many cockatiels of the opposite sex together, they will breed more readily when they're comfortable so if you constantly change their cage around and their settings, then they're not going to be as comfortable to want to do that. And of course, I don't have a nest box and things like that, which also prevents it, but just changing the cage around is a big deterrent. And I do that once a month, once every other month. Spring is, this time of year, they tend to be a little bit more hormonal. So this is a good time to change things around. You want to make sure they get plenty of darkness, because in the wild, the summer months, it's light longer. So you want to make sure that they are in a room where they're getting a good 10, 12 hours of darkness. Otherwise, it'll trigger their body too.
So it's a season more so, like they actually have a breeding season.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, do you have any kind of out there facts or just stuff that you want to throw out, or stuff that we may not know?
Yeah. One warning I guess my husband's kind of reminding me here of is with toys or perches or anything that have any kind of material, you just want to be very careful that they're not eating that too much, because that can impact their crop. If you start to see them getting frayed really bad or holes in them, you may want to remove it.
Okay.
Because, it can get in there and they have to do surgery to get that out.
So an exploratory and pull it out.
Right. So that's always something to keep an eye on.
Right. Watch out for. Well, do you want to bring any over and show them off?
This is Piper. Now he is one that I don't worry about clipping the wings with, because he's just really old and he can't fly very well, so I don't bother to clip. He does that when he's nervous, so he's nervous too. Yes, I know, my sweet boy. I know. You say hi to the camera. Say hi. You don't hold your balance very well like you used to. So here we have Cosmo in the back and Jasper in the front. Now I don't know if you can see that, but Jasper is bald on the back of his head. Now we're not 100% sure, because again, he's a rescue, but we believe that when he was little, his mom or maybe another bird in his cage with him just plucked him too much, because after a while their follicles will die and the feathers don't grow back. So he's my baldy. Yes, you are bald. And this is Cosmo, who again is another one of my birds that cannot fly. Excuse me, I don't know why I have so many birdies that can't fly, but I do. Of course, this is Willow, my cinnamon white face. She is a sweetie pie. Yes, you are. And that is your boyfriend over there screaming, because they do not like to be separated at all. Yes, your boyfriend is noisy. There's Shadow. Now this is a male white face. His face is actually white. That's something to note. Her face, not very white. That's the difference between the boys and the girls with the white faces. Now they're all going to look like that as babies, as you know.
Yep, I also have one that a white face.
So his, after it molts a time or two, start seeing those white feathers, you know you have a boy. If not, you have a girl. Or you can always get them DNA tested. You can go online and order a DNA kit. Yep, and that's actually what we did with Echo with the Amazon, because with those you can't tell. With the cockatiels it's a little bit easier to tell, but with some of the bigger ones they're all the same. So
right.
we did go ahead and DNA test her. But this is Daisy. She is a Latino, and she's got a little bit of a bald spot too on the back, but hers is because that is normal for their mutation. And we have our little River, who never wants to stay very close, but this is our little River. She
sounds like a little helicopter.
she is. She's like a little hummingbird. And I feel like I just have to talk about my African Gray that we used to have and unfortunately passed away, but if you ever have a chance to get an African Gray, they are the coolest birds in the world. And we'll have another someday.
A little biased there, but...
A little bit. They are they're the smartest birds. They're so cool. So.
Now, does Echo talk?
She does a little bit. She's not as clear as our Gray was. She says a few words, but she's being shy right now, so I don't think she's gonna say much. She does say hello. She says, "Hey, buddy." That's the first thing when she wants food. She'll come down, "Hey, buddy." She's recently started saying Savannah, which is our oldest daughter. I guess we yell her name a lot. Now I don't know if you noticed, she is on a perch. This is the only bird I've ever had that I have not been able to get to step up on my hand. You can see I can touch her anywhere else. I can touch her head, her body, whatever. She doesn't care, but will not step up. Amazons are notoriously stubborn. Yeah, when you get a new bird, after you've already had, you definitely want to make sure that you quarantine the new bird for at least a month, but it really would be better to do 2, just to make sure, because birds are so good at hiding their illnesses.
As are reptiles.
So yeah, and that way, you have time to get them to the vet and make sure in that amount of time, in a 2-month time span, if they are sick with something, it's going to show at that point.
Right.
So, once you know that they're healthy, then
you can introduce them to the rest of them. Okay.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you wanted to mention?
They definitely need lots of toys. I mean, the more toys, the better. They are busy birds. They like to chew. They need to do that. It's their natural instinct to forage. So yeah, the more toys you can get in, the better. Variety, mine love. And I make a lot of my own toys. Popsicle sticks are the easiest thing. What was that face?
That was a weird sound.
But yeah, you can use anything. You can go any wood pieces or beads and things like that. You don't want to make sure the beads are too small, of course. So we're just kind of showing you now. Mine don't have nearly as many toys as they should have. I really need to get on making some more. I've been busy, but mine seem to love these tennis shoes ones. I just get at the pet store. They have some. I don't know how high you're going here. Popsicle sticks are a huge hit with my flock. They love to chew on popsicle sticks. Any of this, I'm not sure what that's called. It's like crinkly. They love it. Love that kind of stuff. But yeah, you just want to make sure you got lots of things in there for them to choose from, some different types of materials, so they can stay busy, because it's just in their nature. They are highly intelligent animals and they need to stay busy. Okay, so today we are going to learn how to clip cockatiel's wings. Now she's already been clipped. She's just got a few growing in. Just want to make sure you don't get up into these up here, because she really needs to keep those. Otherwise she could really hurt herself. So I like to do a light clip so they can still fly a little bit, but not crazy. I'm going to sort of keep them in line that way. But just make sure you don't go too short. If you do end up getting what we call a blood feather, where they have a vein still going through, those you have to yank out. Luckily she doesn't have any, but you can spot the blood feathers pretty quickly. This vein going through, if it's red, that one's gonna bleed a lot. So you want to yank those, or just let it go until it falls out on its own, because they could literally bleed to death, and that's not good. So But yeah, it's pretty simple. And keeping them clipped is much safer for them.
All right, well, I hope that was informative for you guys and that you learned something. And if you have any other questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments. And if I don't know, which I probably won't, I will call Ginger and we'll get that answered for you.
And if I don't know for some crazy reason, I got plenty of people in the bird rescue world that I can ask, so.
All right, well, thanks for watching, guys, and have a good day.
Bye-bye. Put together some toys. You can quick Google search or U-turd.
Turd. Not treated either. You turd, that's your new name?
We're gonna edit that out.